And so, ladies and gentlemen, grab a pint from the bar and find a good place to stand and watch, or, alternatively, get down to the front and mosh your heart out while dodging stage divers as we return to Glitterballs. Stock footage. Urban landscape in blizzard conditions. Scene 1, exterior, front of Glitterballs, night. Snow blows wildly across the front facade of Glitterballs. We see Tom peering miserably through the glass doors. Scene 2, interior, foyer, night. Tom remains fixedly looking out into the blizzard while Mrs. Brooks sits in the box office absorbed in a copy of Puzzler magazine. She sucks thoughtfully on a biro as Dave enters from the ballroom where we can hear a band playing. Mrs. Brooks looks up, but Tom is oblivious to all but the weather. Dave: I take it the weather hasn't improved then, Mum? Mrs. Brooks: No, love. Poor Tom. He's been like that for over an hour now. Dave shakes his head. Hardly worth your while coming down tonight, was it, Mum? Mrs. Brooks: Well, you never know, do you? What if lots of people had braved the weather? What with Tim laid up with the flu like he is, who would have manned the door? I didn't like to think of you two struggling down here all by yourselves. Dave: I'm afraid the only struggling going on here tonight is going to be of the financial kind. Tom's still got to pay this lot, indicates band with nod. The fact that the snow's kept all the punters at home doesn't come into it. It's what's contractually known as an act of God. Mrs. Brooks: Oh, well, God must be awfully cross with Tom then. Doesn't he go to church on Sundays? Dave: Nah, he goes to the Stag and Hounds. Dave laughs. Mrs. Brooks slaps his arm playfully. Tom turns from the doors. Tom: Oh, nice to see somebody's having a laugh tonight, Dave. The prospect of not getting paid tickles you, does it? Dave: Eh? Tom: If I make money, we all make money. But if I get shafted, we all, looks at Mrs. Brooks, suffer. Dave: Oh, come on, Tom. A night's work's a night's work, mate. Me and Mum here have turned up in good faith. It's not our fault if the audience consists of one man and his dog. Cut away to ballroom, where one man and his sitting dog alone watch the band performing on stage. Dave continued: Act to God and all that. Tom: Yeah, I know. Look, can I owe it to you? It's all gone a bit Cheech and Chong tonight, hasn't it? Mrs. Brooks: Of course you can, Tom. We understand, don't we, David? Dave: Well, I could use at least a tenner, Tom. I'm meeting Jenny Fox down a snake and ladder, and, well, I can't turn up penniless, can I? Tom: No. He digs into his jeans pocket. Nah, of course you can't, mate. Hands Dave a crumpled £10 note. Here you go. Dave, plucking note. Cheers, Tom. He looks back into ballroom a moment. Do you think you'll be needing me any more tonight, or can I get away now? Tom sighs. Oh, yeah, might as well take off now. I'm sure I'll be able to cope without you. Mrs. Brooks: How are you going to pay the band, Tom? The PA, Max? Tom: Well, Max and Doreen are gone away tonight, so they can wait. As for the others, well, you know me. I'll scrape things together. Somehow. Tom exits into ballroom, head low. Mrs. Brooks: Oh, poor Tom. I feel awful. Perhaps we should forget payment this once, David. Dave: Eh? After what you won down the bookies today? You must be joking. Mrs. Brooks: But surely the racetrack was all snowy today. What was he betting on? Dave: It was the All England Open, wasn't it? Mrs. Brooks looks confused. 3. Interior, ballroom, bar, night. The band finish, the man claps, his dog barks. Tom is at the bar talking to Gary. As he does so, he reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out a wad of crisp tenors. Tom: So I said to him, Well, Dave, that goes to show what you know about tiddlywinks, doesn't it? Look at the thumb on that bloke, I said. Just look at it. Sure enough, wallop, straight into the cup. Gary smiles and hands Tom a pint. Tom gives him a tenner. Tom continued: Cheers. Have one yourself. Glitterballs. a situation comedy written for television but performed for podcast by Mike Bennett. Episode 5, Snowbound. 4. Interior, ballroom, night. The gig is over. The band have gone. Gary is sweeping the floor as Tom enters from the private doors. Tom. You all right to lock up then, Gary? Gary. Yeah, Mr. Price gave me the keys and showed me how to set the alarm. Mrs. Brooks enters from the foyer tying a headscarf on. Tom to Gary. How are you getting home tonight? You on your bike? Gary. Yeah, daft as it may seem. Tom. No chance of a baccy then? Maybe I could sit on the handlebars. Gary. No, I don't think so. Mrs. Brooks. I'll give you a ride home, Tom. Tom looks at Mrs. Brooks. From his point of view, she is soft focus, and we hear the sexy saxophone riff. He looks anxious. Mrs. Brooks. Tom? Tom. Oh, that'd be great, Mrs. Brooks. Thank you. Mrs. Brooks. Come on then, before the roads get any worse. She turns and exits. Tom turns the camera and bites the side of his finger. Gary. You all right, Tom? Tom, correcting his posture. Yeah, sudden cramp. All right now, though. See you then, Gary. He goes. Gary. Yeah, see you, Tom. Gary resumes sweeping. Scene 5. Exterior. Front of Glitterballs. Night. Mrs. Brooks arrives at her car. Snow flurries all about her. She opens her door. Tom runs into shot and around to the passenger side. Mrs. Brooks. Brrr! Come on, Tom. They get into the car. 6. Interior, car, night. Outside the car, we can see little but darkness and snowfall. Tom. It's awfully nice of you to give us a lift, Mrs. Brooks. I don't know how to get home otherwise. Mrs. Brooks. Oh, I'm sure you'd have sorted something out, Tom. She smiles at him. You always manage to wind up on top somehow. Oh, and call me Daphne. Tom laughs nervously. Daphne. OK, you can call me Tom. Mrs. Brooks. I already do, Tom. She laughs. Silly. Mrs. Brooks starts the car. Tom laughs nervously and crosses his legs. Dissolve. Scene 7. Exterior, car, night. The car drives down a dark country lane. The snow isn't easing up. Scene 8. Interior, car, night. Mrs. Brooks is concentrating on the road ahead. The radio is tuned to a soft hit station. Tom stares fixedly out of the passenger window as we hear his thoughts. Tom, voiceover. I can't believe it. I'm actually alone with Dave's mum. Or should I say, Daphne? God, what a lovely name. He bites his finger absently. I wonder what she meant by my winding up on top. She sounded really impressed, like aroused or something. I wonder if she... He steals a glance at Daphne as she drives. Nah, don't be daft. She's twice my age at least. She's my best mate's mum, for Christ's sake. Get a grip, Tom. You've known her since you were a nipper, frolicking gaily with Dave. The pair of us in short trousers, falling out of trees and skinning our knees. She used to rub iodine on our wounds. He closes his eyes and smiles. Oh, the sting, the sweet sting as she rubbed me back from the clutches of infection. Tom's reverie is shattered by a sudden cry of alarm from Mrs. Brooks. Mrs. Brooks. Oh, my goodness! She turns the wheel hard to the right. The car skids wildly. Tom. Whoa! The car spins off the road and comes to a sudden thumping halt. Mrs. Brooks. Although actually I've changed the character designation to Daphne, so I'm going to switch to Daphne because it's shorter. So Daphne, distraught. Oh my! I thought I saw something in the road, a fox or a badger or something. I swerved to miss it and I just... Oh, Tom, I've never had an accident before. She sobs. Oh, what a fright. Tom, awkwardly. There now, Daphne. He dithers a moment, then reaches out to her. It's okay, we're fine. Daphne unbuckles her belt and buries her face in Tom's shirt. Tom reacts. Oh, I wouldn't think there's any damage to the car. All we hit was a big mound of snow. He laughs nervously. It's not like we've got to dislodge a badger's mangled head from the radiator grill or nothing. Daphne sobs loudly, upset by Tom's insensitive remark. Tom continued. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just trying to make you feel better. Here now. He pulls a tissue from a box behind the gear stick. Blow. She takes it and blows her nose. There now. That's better, isn't it? Daphne straightens and dabs her eyes. She gives a little chuckle. It doesn't seem so long ago that I was saying those words to you. You and David used to get into so many scrapes. Do you remember when the two of you pinched his father's air pistol and David shot you on the bum with a pellet? Oh, you cried your little eyes out. Do you remember? Tom, embarrassed. Yeah. Daphne. And then you wrestled the gun off him and what was it you said to him? Run, mother's mucker, or something like that? Tom. Yeah, something like that. Daphne. And little Davy ran screaming up the garden path to the house, and just as he got to the safety of the back door, you shot him. Oh, how you both cried. I don't know. Boys will be boys. She places her hand on Tom's and smiles. Tom. I wonder if we can get back onto the road, Mrs. Brooks. I mean, Daphne. Daphne, dabbing her eyes with the tissue. Yes. Well, I'll have a go, shall I? She puts the car in reverse and guns it, but they go nowhere. Tom. I'll get out and try pushing it from the front. Daphne. Oh, thank you, Tom. Be careful. Tom gets out. Scene 9, exterior, roadside, night. The car's front is buried in a snowdrift. Snow continues to fall all around as Tom goes around to the front of the car and pushes. Tom shouts, "Try it now!" The car revs, the wheels turn hopelessly. Tom gives up and gets back inside. Scene 10, interior, car, night. Tom. Oh, it's no good. We're stuck fast. Daphne. Do you have your mobile telephone with you? We could call for help. Tom. Nah, my battery's flat. They look flummoxed. Daphne. Well, I guess we're stuck here then. I've got some blankets in the back. We'll have to sleep in the car and get help tomorrow morning. Tom. Eh? Daphne. I don't know this road, Tom. I don't usually come this way. I know the last house we passed had to be at least 2 miles back, and the road ahead, well, all I can see is darkness. We could walk miles before we find a phone. Whichever way we went, we'd probably catch pneumonia, and I can't go nowhere in these shoes. No, I think the wisest thing to do is to stay in the car and leave the heater on till morning. Tom. What if the battery dies? Daphne. Well, we'll just have to huddle together under the blankets. Shared bodily warmth, isn't it? Tom turns away and looks anxiously out of the window. A tiny red devil Tom head appears over his right-hand shoulder. Devil Tom. Yabba dabba do, Tommy boy. Jackpot. She's worked this one out nicely. Miles from anywhere, blankets, shared bodily warmth. You know what that means, don't you? Shared bodily fluids, my son. Can you feel your fluids boiling, Tom? Tom looks afraid. Can you feel the sap rising? Tom looks doubtful. Why wait for the heater to die, boy? Jump her now. She's gagging for it. An angelic Tom head suddenly appears over his left shoulder. Angelic Tom. What utter bollocks. Pardon my language, but really. To Devil Tom. Only a wanker like you could come up with such a ridiculous, jazz-mag-induced illusion. To Tom. The reason you're not about to molest her, Tom, is because deep down you know that this is all some half-assed extension of a pubescent crush. I mean, how old are you? Devil Tom. Shut up, you oil of Ulay-drenched fop. This is no place for eunuchs. We've got seed to spill. To Tom. Look at her, son. She's panting like a racehorse. Daphne is being innocuous as angelic Tom spins his finger against the side of his head in a loony gesture. Devil Tom continued. Get on her! She wants it! She won't give you another chance like this. Angelic Tom. To Tom. Do you believe this? To Devil Tom. Do you need one of these tissues over here, mate? Sounds like you've already spilled most of your seed already. To Tom. Tom, you're confusing some fondness you've got for this woman with sexual desire. You need to get it straight in your head, mate. A fondness is good, yeah? But just not the squelchy kind, all right? Tom nods. Devil Tom. Oh, bollocks. Devil Tom disappears. Angel Tom. Good. Now that we're straight on that ludicrous matter, let's sort out the real problem. Isn't there a hotel just down the road a bit? We could phone for help from there. Tom straightens and inhales resolutely. And with a smile, Angel Tom disappears. Tom. Oh, I just remembered. There's a hotel just down the road a bit. We could phone for help from there. Daphne. Oh, that's marvellous, Tom. To be honest, I wasn't exactly relishing the prospect of sleeping in a car overnight. Should we get going now? Tom, smiling. Yeah. They exit car. Scene 11, country road, night. Tom and Daphne walking through heavy snow. Tom. Oh, this is unreal. I knew we should have taken a left at Albuquerque. Daphne. There it is, up ahead. Tom. What? I station zebra? Daphne. No, the hotel, look. Tom. Oh, thank you, God. Scene 12, exterior, Hotel Drive, night. A painted sign hangs out over the road. It reads, Jameson Hotel, TV, bath, B&B. Beneath that, a no vacancy sign has been placed over the vacancy option. We see the driveway leading up to the entrance as Tom and Daphne trudge into shot and proceed up to it. Scene 13, interior, hotel reception, night. Tom and Daphne enter and shake the snow from their clothes. Tom goes to the empty reception desk and rings the bell. There is a pause, then Bob, the manager, enters from an unseen bar area from which emanates a low but cheery buzz of conversation and laughter. He is dressed casually. Bob.
I'm sorry, didn't you see the sign outside? I'm afraid we've no vacancies here tonight.
Tom. Oh, yeah, we did, but it's okay. We just like to borrow your phone if we can. Bob.
Ah, of course. Please do.
He indicates phone on far wall.
Help yourselves.
He busies himself behind the desk. Daphne and Tom cross to the phone. Daphne fetches an address book and some change from her bag and proceeds to dial. Daphne.
Hello? AA? I wonder if you could help me. I've managed to bury my car in a snowdrift. No, I didn't want to. It was an accident. Can you come and pull it out, please? The Dinglebury to Cheering Road, just before you get to the Jameson Hotel. Oh, all routes are closed? Oh, yeah, of course I'm aware it's been snowing. Tomorrow morning? Oh, dear. I see. Well, I'll just have to call you then, won't I? Good night.
She hangs up, then to Tom.
They say all routes around Dinglebury are blocked by snow. The council are sending out snowploughs and gritting lorries, but the AA don't expect to be able to get in till tomorrow morning.
Tom. Oh, fantastic. You know, tonight's turning out to be so perfectly pear-shaped. I'm expecting the man from Del Monte to come running in any minute and slap a seal of excellence on it. Well, since staying here isn't an option for us, perhaps we can get a taxi to take us back to Glitterballs. Bob, hearing this, looks up. Bob.
Glitterballs?
Tom. Yes. Bob.
Are you two friends of Max and Doreen?
Tom. Yes. With a smile. If we weren't, I doubt we'd be here right now. Bob.
Well, you should have said.
Takes ledger.
Yes, here we are. There's one room left. Can't be too careful there, can you? But any friends of Max and Doreen's are always welcome here.
Tom to Daphne. What do you think? Daphne. Well, it beats freezing to death in a Ford Fiesta. Tom to Bob. All right, great. Thanks very much. Bob.
Just sign the book, would you please?
Tom signs. Bob hands Tom a key.
Room 22. Just pop up the stairs, turn left, and it's down the hall. At least, it is at the moment.
He laughs and exits back into the bar. Daphne, as they move to the stairs.
What an odd man.
Tom. Well, if he's a mate of Max's, he'd have to be, wouldn't he? They exit onto stairs. Scene 14. Interior, hotel hallway, night. A hallway with many doors on either side. Tom and Daphne locate room 22. Tom. Here we are then. Scene 15. Interior, room 22. night. They enter the room. It is dark. Tom tries the light switch, and nothing happens. Tom. Oh, fab. The lights don't work. No wonder they weren't advertising this room. It's knackered. In the light, spilling in from the hallway, Daphne makes out a bedside lamp. She crosses to it. Daphne.
Hang on, I'll try one of the bedside lamps.
She turns it on. It works.
There we are. Oh.
She sees king-size bed. The room is a standard motel design. Dresser, TV, wardrobe and one king-size bed with night tables on either side of it. Each table has a lamp, and on the left table there is a 70s-type phone, minus dial. Set in the wall behind and to the left of the bed are two French windows. In the wall off to the right of the bed is an ensuite bathroom. Tom and Daphne look at the bed, then at each other. Tom. Well, there's no point in asking for two singles, so I'll take the floor. Daphne. Oh, don't be silly, Tom. We can share the bed, I don't mind. Tom looks worried as Daphne sits on the bed and begins to remove her shoes. Devil Tom appears. Devil Tom. That was it, Tom. That was your cue. Tom whimpers. Come on, boy, what does she have to do? Jump naked out of a giant cake with Shag Me written on it? Angelic Tom appears on Tom's other side. Angelic Tom to Devil Tom. There's only one bed, stupid. What else is she supposed to say? Go out in the hallway and pitch a tent? Devil Tom. She could say that, but even then I don't think he could. Maybe he can't. He looks down at Tom's groin. You pitching a tent down there yet, Tommy boy? Tom. No! The Angelic and Devil Toms disappear. Daphne. All right, Tom. There's no need to shout. If you'd rather sleep on the floor. As she speaks, Daphne removes her headscarf and places it on the bed table next to the right of the bed. Tom. No, I don't mind where I sleep. I have to go to the bathroom. Tom opens the door to the hall. Daphne.
But we've got a bathroom just here, Tom.
Tom. No, I need to see the bloke on the desk about some aspirin. He rubs his head. I've got a headache coming on. I can feel it building behind me eyes. Daphne.
Oh, dear. Look, why don't you lie down here and I'll place a cool, moist flannel over your eyes?
Tom. No, really, Daphne, I'll just go and see the desk guy. Daphne looks concerned. Scene 15, interior, reception, night. Tom trots into shot from the stairs, looking a little flustered. As he enters the reception area, a few happy men and women are leaving the bar area. Some are still carrying drinks. One of the women, 30s, pretty, looks Tom up and down and smiles at him. Tom smiles back, somewhat uncertainly, and ducks into the toilet as the drinkers go to the stairs. 16. Interior, toilets, night. Two toilet cubicles face 3 urinals. The distance between them about 8 feet. Once Tom enters the room, he goes into a toilet cubicle and locks the door. He sits on the lidded seat and puts his face in his hands. He sighs a long sigh. After a moment's pause, we hear the outer door open and the jolly voices of 2 men as they enter. They are laughing. We stay with Tom. Richard, out of view.
I must say, you're certainly setting Monica's pants on fire. What have you been saying to her?
Max, out of view.
Well, I was telling her all about my 12-inch shaft.
As Max speaks, recognition and horror dawn on Tom's face. Richard, out of view.
Really?
Tom quietly gets to his feet and, as the conversation continues, gets onto the lid and peers over the cubicle door. From his point of view, we look down onto Max's lustrous wig as he stands with his back to us, urinating. Tom draws quickly back and listens with mounting dread to Max's words. Max.
Yes, she said she'd do just about anything to get her hands on it.
I know Monica's taste from previous encounters, so I fished it out especially for her. Richard.
You're going to give it to her?
Max. I might slip it to her later on, if she plays her cards right. They both laugh. Max. Only a loan, mind you. Good God. I got it down the record and tape exchange the other day. Isaac Hayes, 1971. Quite a rarity, apparently, but not my cup of tea. Tom smirks. Cut to Max and Richard as they wash their hands. Richard.
Well, I wouldn't bank on seeing her later on, Max. I was talking to Bob and Jeannie earlier on, and they were talking about adding an air of uncertainty to the proceedings tonight. You may not get quite what you bargained for.
They cross to the exit. Max. Oh my goodness. Those two, eh? Wild. They exit. Cut to Tom in cubicle, looking uncertain. Scene 17. Interior. Hotel hallway. Night. Bob and Jeannie are nipping back and forth, giggling drunkenly as they change around the numbers on the bedrooms. Bob, quietly. Oh, what wouldn't I give to be a fly on the wall in every room tonight? Jeannie, quietly. Don't be so boring, Bob. Wouldn't you rather be a bug in every bed? They giggle and exit around the far end of the hallway. After a pause, Tom enters from the opposite, near end of the hallway. He looks anxiously about, his mind too concerned with Max to notice that room 22 is now at the opposite end of the hallway to where it was when he left it. He quietly opens the door of the room now marked 22. Scene 18, interior, darkened room, night. Tom enters the darkened room and closes the door. The layout of the room is identical to room 22. We can see vague shapes of the furniture, but no features. Tom tries the light switch. Nothing happens. Tom whispers, Bugger. A pause. Hello? Are you asleep? Listen, we've got to get out of here. A purring voice comes out of the darkness. We recognise it immediately. Doreen. Don't you think we ought to get to know each other a little first? Tom. Oh my. Then, recognising his voice, deepens it.
God!
FX, the shifting of bed springs. In the dark, Doreen leaves the bed. Doreen. Don't be shy, lover. Do I come as a surprise to you? An unexpected treat? Tom, deep tones.
You could say that.
We see Doreen's silhouette move towards him. She appears to be in a baby doll nightie. Doreen. Hey, come on, relax. Just let go of your inhibitions and enjoy me. We'll enjoy each other. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Doreen takes Tom by the hand. He yelps and snatches it back. Tom, deep tones.
I have to go. I'm in the wrong room.
Doreen quickly comes between Tom and the door. She locks it and tosses away the key. Oh, no, you don't. We're all in the wrong rooms, darling. And you are staying in mine. Doreen advances. Tom backs away. Tom, in his normal voice. Well, then, realising and deepening it.
Well, who's in my room? With my wife?
Doreen. How should I know? But I hope for her sake she's having more luck than I am. The back of Tom's legs make contact with the bed and he falls onto it. Doreen pounces. Scene 19, room 22, night. The lamp still lights the room. The bathroom light is on and steam seeps around the edge of the door. FX, shower in operation. The door to the hallway opens slowly and Max's beaming face peers around it. Scene 20, interior, darkened room, night. Tom and Doreen are rolling about on the bed, Tom desperately trying to keep out of her grasp. Doreen. Oh, come here, damn it. Let me bury your face in my bosom. Tom. No. He falls off the bed. Oof. FX body hits carpet. Doreen. Oh, you want it on the floor, do you? Well, all right. Let's do it on the floor. Tom. Normal. No. Then suddenly, deep, masterful.
No, wait. I want you on the bed.
Doreen. Oh, how changeable you are. Tom, deep, masterful.
Yes. Now, I want you to lie on your front.
Doreen. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. She lies on her front. Like this. Tom gets to his feet and backs away. Tom, deep, masterful.
Yes. Now, I want you to close your eyes and slowly count to 10 while I undress.
Doreen. And then what? Will I get a surprise? Tom, deep, masterful, crossing to French windows.
Oh, yes, you will.
He goes to open French windows. Doreen. Oh, I feel like the woman in the milk tray advert.
1, 2...
Scene 21, interior, room 22, night. Max is slipping beneath the sheets of the bed on the left-hand side. He is naked and sits up, smiling. He clears his throat loudly. Ahem! Daphne's voice comes from the bathroom. She calls over the noise of the shower. Daphne, out of view.
You're back! How you feeling?
Max, hot! Daphne, out of view.
Oh dear, I've put something on the bedside table for you to cover your eyes with. It might help.
Max looks to the left bedside table, where a damp flannel is folded, then to the right table, where Daphne's headscarf lies. Max picks up the scarf and grins salaciously. He ties it around his head, blindfolding himself. Scene 22, interior, darkened room, night. Tom is outside the French windows on the balcony. He quietly closes the windows behind him. Doreen.
7, 8...
Scene 23, exterior, balcony terrace, night. The balcony terrace runs along outside all of the suites, each section separated by a handrail. Snow continues to fall as Tom climbs over into the next balcony. Scene 24, interior, darkened room, night. Doreen. 10. Pause.
Hello?
She looks about.
Hello?
Scene 25, exterior, balcony terrace, night. Tom goes along the balconies, checking the windows for signs of room 22. The first window he comes to, he peers in, gasps, stands back, and moves on to the next balcony. He looks in through the next window, gasps, stands back, then peers in again, curiously. Scene 26, room 22, night. The shower stops. Max sits upright, blindfolded, and tingling with anticipation. Daphne, out of view.
Oh, that's better. I feel human again. Now, where's that towel? I think I'm just about ready for bed. How about you?
Max. Tom appears at the French windows. His face fills with horror as he sees Max in the bed. He quietly opens the windows and steps in, closing them behind him. Daphne, out of view.
How's your head?
Tom stands behind Max, looking frantically about. He sees the phone on the table next to Max. He picks it up, lifting it by the receiver and cradle. In the bathroom, Daphne begins to brush her teeth. FX, brushing of teeth. Max, positively giddy. Tom socks Max across the back of the head with the base of the phone. Max collapses sideways into the middle of the bed, unconscious. Tom frantically gathers Max's body up, tangling it in the duvet and dragging it out. It lands on the floor with a thud, and Tom struggles to push it under the bed, which isn't easy. Once it is under, Tom tugs the duvet out and puts it back onto the bed and falls on it a moment, resting. Then, from the hallway, we hear laughter. Tom leaps from the bed and hurries to the door. He quickly turns the key in the lock and flattens his back against the door, arms outstretched, barring intruders. In the bathroom, we hear Daphne spit out toothpaste and gargle. FX, spit and gargle. Tom notices Max's foot jutting out from under the bed. He runs over, kicks it out of sight, dives into the bed, sees the flannel, grabs it and slaps it onto his eyes. Daphne rinses and spits. FX, spit. Tom pulls the duvet up to his chin, turns out the light and lies still. Daphne enters. She is wearing a pair of pyjamas with Jameson Hotel embroidered on the breast. Daphne.
Do you want the bathroom, Tom?
Tom makes a few snoring noises. Daphne smiles maternally. She turns out the bathroom light, crosses to the bed, and gets in on her side. She smiles at Tom. Daphne.
Good night, Tom, dear. God bless.
She turns away and switches off her bedside lamp. Scene 27, exterior, roadside, day. The snow has stopped. The AA are towing Daphne's car from the snowdrift. She is behind the wheel. Tom stands by the roadside as Max and Doreen's car approaches. Max is driving. He looks grim. Tom smiles and raises a hand to them. Doreen, seeing him, smiles broadly and waves. Max continues to look grim. Tom, to himself, looks like the lady got her milk tray after all. Daphne gets out of her car. Daphne shouts to AA vehicle.
That's lovely.
To Tom.
Well, Tom, would you like that lift home I promised?
Tom. Actually, Daphne, I was wondering if you could drop me back at Glitterballs. I've got a gig tonight and there's loads of stuff I need to get sorted before the band arrive. Daphne. Certainly. Who is it tonight then? Tom. Beep. Real-life guest band. Daphne. Oh, very nice. So will you need me on the door tonight if Tim's still fluey? Tom. If that's okay with you. Daphne. Of course it is. I'm happy to help. Scene 28. Interior, ballroom, stage, night. The real guest band performed their song. Usual intercuts, plus Daphne on the door and Doreen rubbing iodine on Max's head, with Max reacting. Scene 29. Interior, ballroom, bar, night. The audience cheer. Tom and Dave are leaning on the bar. Tom. Oh, I nearly forgot to ask. How'd you get on last night with Jenny Fox? Did you get anywhere? Dave. I don't know. I think so. It's a bit of a weird one, that. Tom. What do you mean? You either got somewhere or you didn't. Dave. Oh, I got somewhere, all right. We had a few drinks in the pub and she seemed, really keen. Tom. Oh, yeah? Dave. Yeah. So, I asked her if she fancied coming back to my place for coffee. Tom. What'd she say? Dave. She said yeah. Tom. Well, hey, nice one, Davey boy. Dave. Yeah, well, the thing was, all the roads back to mine were blocked by the snow, weren't they? So anyway, she turns around and says she knows this hotel we can go to just outside of town. Tom, who is supping from his pint, freezes. Dave continued. Well, typical my luck, they were all full up. But fortunately, Jenny knows the management. Nice couple they were, Bob and Jeannie. And anyway, turns out for her they had just one room left. So we go upstairs for a bit, and then I nipped out to make a phone call. He thinks. Tom. Yeah? Dave. Well, I was pretty drunk and all, but, I don't know. She wasn't quite what I'd imagined. Like, a different woman altogether. Strange, and yet somehow familiar. You see, I come back upstairs, and... Tom. Hang on a second, Dave. Tom smiles and calls to Gary, the barman. Gary, get us a brandy, would you? Better make it a large one, mate. Turns back to Dave. Tom continued. Sorry, mate, go on. You came back upstairs and... The music you're listening to is called The Show Must Be Go by Kevin MacLeod. For more information, visit incomptech.com. So, there we are then, chums. That was Glitterballs episode 5. 'Tis the penultimate episode of this non-classic, indeed non-existent TV show. Huzzah! Huzzah! So, yes, a bit of a bedroom farce, that episode. Shades of 70s carry-on films, perhaps, and that sort of thing. But, I don't know, I just wanted to explore Tom's desire for Dave's mum, and it led me to that hotel. When I was reading it, and recording it, and I saw that Dave's mum was wearing a headscarf, it was like, what? What is it, 1950? No one wore headscarves back in the 90s. But then later on, when the scene with Max picking it up off the night table and using it as a blindfold, I kind of thought, oh yeah, I see where I was going with that. But still, it's interesting for me to read these scripts and see the way that I, as an early 30-something, saw people in their 50s, Max, Doreen, Mrs. Brooks and whatnot, seeing as now I am a person in my 50s myself. To me, back then, it was like 50-somethings were so remote, so alien, into things like ballroom dancing and wearing headscarves and saying things like, hello, dear. And we're not like that at all. And nor do I think they were then. But, I had misconceptions is all I can say. And interestingly, ballroom dancing is now fashionable again. What with Strictly Come Dancing in the UK and Dancing with the Stars in the US, it's almost like Max and Doreen were actually ahead of their time. Ah, but then they do say time is a wheel. It all comes around again sooner or later. Who would have thought that beards, like those sported by Charles Darwin or W.G. Grace, would ever become fashionable again? Oh, excuse me a moment. Hello, Mike Bennett podcast.
Hey, speaking of men's fashion, what is it with the men and the shaved chests?
Didn't you phone in with this question a few years ago?
Yeah, I did, and you couldn't answer me then. So what is it?
I still don't know, I'm afraid.
You see the guys with the big beards, and when they take off their shirts, they're as bald as a plucked turkey from the neck down. It's unnatural.
Yes, I suppose it is. I'm guessing that you don't like men with shaven chests.
No, I like a man who looks like a man, like Burt Reynolds, you know? Medallion Man. Remember those? Shirts open, chest hair bursting out like a split pillow.
I do, yes. As a small boy, it was a look I aspired to.
So what happened? Do you have a hairy chest?
Well, that's a bit of a personal question.
Come on, do you have a chest rug?
Well, I have a small rug.
How small? What would happen if you dropped a match on it?
I don't know. You'd probably get a small flare-up.
How small?
I don't know.
Would you set off the sprinkler system? Would the smell make you have to open all the windows and gasp for breath?
No, definitely not.
Oh, why am I wasting my time talking to you, you wimp?
Oh, okay. That was weird, wasn't it? I haven't had a call for ages, and then when I finally get one, she insults my manhood. Oh, it's the kind of thing that could shatter a chap's self-confidence. Another one? Hello?
Oh, don't despair, boy. I like a man who's only slightly flammable, me. You can't be too careful when you're lighting your pipe now, can you?
No, I suppose you can't. Thank you.
Don't mention it, Mark.
Oh, well, I guess that makes things even, Stephen. I think I'll quit while I'm ahead. Or even. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. But from me, for now, it's Pip Pip and cheerio.
Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like and maybe subscribe too. Why leave it to chance that we may meet again in this heaving, jostling crush of videos, all vying for your attention? Click subscribe and get notified whenever I post new content. Thank you.